Hello and welcome. This is EDC with Oaken and Kane. I am Oaken, and we have got quite a bit of Hinderers in the house today. Well, in the garage. Also, thanks for joining me on the first time I've ever commented on anything really being in the house. Anyway, so what do we have? Let's go ahead and shed them from their boxes and take a closer look. So, we have the beautiful Hinderer Jurassic and the beautiful Hinderer XM18. So, you know what, let's, for these fancy guys, we'll throw down a nice little hank. There we are. We'll actually kind of be doing these a little bit together, kind of an overview. This is definitely something that is, shall we say, above the pay grade of the channel. Graciously, a viewer sent these in. Old Snuggle Tummy, the one and only. You are a legend, sir. Sent these in to give us a chance to check out. And, oh my goodness. That was a dangerous thing for my wallet because me and this Jurassic, let's just say there's been a spark. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do some kind of basic specs and size comparisons with the Jurassic here first, and then we will bring out the XM18. So this guy is in CPM 20 CV steel. It does have overall length at 7.825 inches. Focus camera. There we are. Low standards, but it's a little bit better. Blade length at 3 1/4 inches. Blade thickness at 0.17. If it'll ever focus on it. There we are. Handle length of 4.625 inches. Handle thickness of 0.54. And let's get a weight on this guy. So also, this normally comes in G10. This right here has some scales in marbled carbon fiber from Sharp Dress Knives. And can you see that? Yeah, 5.39 ounces. So not too bad at all. And let's do some size comparisons. So let's do a size comparison to none other than the Hinderer XM18. I bet nobody was seeing that one. Next, what else do we have? Oh man, it would help if I didn't put those away. But the Neutron here, and the Protec Malibu, the Spyderco Delica, and the Spartan Blades Talos, something new to the channel, the Protec SNG, slowly becoming a favorite of mine. And then we'll end with the classic Paramilitary 2 and Para 3 Lightweight Sandwich. So, now, you know what, that was a glorious time. We're going to do that all again with the XM18. So, XM18, and this guy is a tad bit bigger, although you can, if you guys know anything about Hinderers, you can get these in so many different variants, so many different blade shapes. You can replace every single piece of hardware on them as well. Just a truly a knife with really unlimited options. It really is something that you can kind of make your own, so that's always a huge plus. This particular one is the slicer blade in blue G10. And yeah, so this is the overall length at 8.25 inches, blade length at 3.5 inches, blade thickness, hair thinner at 0.16 inches, handle length 4.75 inches, handle thickness 0.54, and let's get a weight on this guy. Bum, bum. 5.45 ounces. So, you know, still, let's see, can you see that? Yeah. So still really not too bad. Actually, I was expecting it to be a tad more than the Jurassic, but those are a little closer than I was expecting. So, not only can you, at different times, have been able to get these in S35VN, but like I was saying, you can get a satin blade finish, a stonewash blade finish, a working finish. Both of these are stonewash, which is, let's see if it'll focus. That always helps. Yeah, a nice stonewash finish. I've got no complaints there. That is probably my kind of go-to finish on a lot of knives. I just think it typically looks really good. It's also something that, you know, there's not as much of a worry about, you know, putting it to use. You're not going to see some of these smaller scratches that just happen with basic use. Let's get into the pivot on these guys, because that to me is where things at least get interesting in my opinion. So both of these do have this little symbol here, which indicates the tri-way pivot. Oh, I'm not sure if I said this one is in M390. I think I might have said S35VN a minute ago. That's wrong. But yeah, so anyway, both of these do have the tri-way pivot, meaning that it has not only your whatever they may be installed with. I believe they're installed with the bearings. That's what they come with the factory. But you've got bearings, and then inside a pocket here on the scales, you can hold the other bearings, the other options, which are a nylon or Teflon washer and a just kind of your standard bronze phosphor washer. So that's always, to me, that is really nice because, you know, you might like everything about this, but hey, you know, you are working in the kind of working conditions where bearings just are going to be more likely to get gummed up, get, you know, crud in them, and, you know, cause a little bit grittier of an action. So it's always a plus to have the options of, you know, something like bronze phosphor washers, that once you get it dialed in, it's not like you're making a big sacrifice to smoothness. There are quite a few knives out there with bronze phosphor washers that are ridiculously smooth. So, you know, you can kind of go to what you particularly like. To me, that's a huge benefit. I love that. I think that was a great idea. Almost a little surprised that it seemed to take so long for somebody to come out with that, but such a good idea. So yeah, both of these do have that. I believe as of now, I think most all of the current Hinderer production models do have the tri-way pivot. So, but yes. So, materials, I believe I said this earlier, but yeah, both of these, you can get it kind of in a standard G10 variant. I know some of them you can get titanium, that's like already bronze or blue anode, as well as not apocalyptic finish, the working finish on the blade, Spanto grind, harpoon grind. I mean, you can really endlessly pick your poison, so to speak. So really do love that. Lock type on both of these guys is a frame lock, and of course, done by Hinderer, it is locked up solid as all get out. Nice and centered on both of these guys. Obviously no complaints there. This Jurassic did come a hair bit loose, so I did have to tighten the pivot up a little bit. Since then, hadn't really had any issues with it, so no big complaints there. That wasn't necessarily too much of a downside. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into ergos on these guys. We'll set this guy aside for a second. Set him over here. But for the Jurassic, I mean, maybe it's just my hand, but this thing is absolute perfection for me. It just locks in so well. Both of these finger grooves just fit perfectly. Thumb slides in so nicely right there. That to me is remarkable. I wasn't... We'll just say that if I was going to go the Hinderer route, I had always kind of assumed I was going to probably lean more towards an XM18 for starters. That has completely changed. Yeah, ever since handling this Jurassic here, yeah, I was very surprised, very surprised. So definitely, ergonomic speaking, for me, for my hands, which are large but rather thin hands, this guy works perfectly. So really do like that. The XM18, you know, don't necessarily have any huge issues with. You know, up here, with your landing spot having a little bit of jimping there, not the absolute best. And then I feel a little bit of the jimping down here a tad bit, but not in any way that I would consider uncomfortable by any means. But I'll tell you, this Jurassic just, oh my goodness, definitely beats this guy on ergos for me and for my hand. That's just me though. So clip and hardware, let's get some assistance from our pocket here. This is a pocket. I swear it is. And slide these guys in. So it is not a deep carry clip. You do have a little bit sticking out. But honestly, you know, it's a Hinderer. I don't mind a little bit sticking out. That's no issue to me. No issue at all. This one is obviously set up as tip down. Not ideal, but as it is not my knife, I did not want to make any adjustments to it. So, not bad. Really, when it comes down to it, the whole tip down, tip up argument, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to prefer it to be like this, and what I would consider the standard orientation, tip up. But on larger knives, I don't necessarily mind too much. So I'll give it a pass, but of course, great having the option to change the clip orientation like that. So always a plus there. Let's get into price on both of these guys. Whew. This is where I gotta take a quick seat, dab the forehead, take a deep breath. So these are about $450. I think actually both of them are kind of right in that $450 range. This Jurassic here having the marbled carbon fiber scales does amp it a tad bit up. I believe these scales I'm not 100% as I did not purchase them, but are normally somewhere in the $65 to $120 range, depending on materials and such. So, what are my complaints, if any? Well, besides the fact that I don't have that kind of money to scoop one of these guys up and feel super comfortable really putting it through the paces, besides that, only complaint was, and this is really hard to say it's necessarily a complaint and not just a personal problem. No, but trying to open this guy with my thumb, it takes me a second every time. Although you have a ton of space over here, I, for some reason, always, I think it's this middle finger here, always end up putting pressure on the lock bar and always kind of happen to make a little bit of an adjustment each time. I feel like a lot of the times, yep. So I'll have to kind of either just move a finger, but I always have to have a little bit of a second thought or second step when trying to open that guy with my thumb. The XM18, no real issues there, and it has what I would consider less room by the lock bar. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I kept struggling to get it open. Handed it to Kane, and he just popped it open like nothing. And so yeah, kind of started just looking at hand placement, and yeah, realized, man, every single time I want to try and thumb flick this guy out, I have to kind of make a little bit of a second thought to placement of my middle finger there. But other than that, I mean, ridiculously smooth. Whew, both of these ridiculously smooth. But do have to say, as I've handled, I think I've handled an XM24, but I know I've handled an XM18 for a little bit before, and very nice. Really, I get the hype. I understand what people are, why people really do enjoy these. There is so much to love, and if there's something that you don't like about it, you genuinely can change almost every aspect of these guys. So that's a huge plus. But this Jurassic really did wow me. I will be 100% honest. This just, I touched on it earlier, the ergos on this guy is just absolutely amazing to me. So this Jurassic, ooh, if you can get an opportunity to scoop one up and have the cash, I would certainly do it. Certainly do it. Hey, if you have the spare cash, send one over here too. No, but yeah, no, this Jurassic doesn't, to me, I just don't seem to hear about it quite as much as the XM series. But oh yeah, hands down, this one really is my favorite of the bunch so far. So guys, thanks for stopping by the garage here and checking out these awesome USA made Hinderer knives. But guys, it is time to go. Have a good one.